I love it. I love that fact I have 16. If I had more, I'd be a lot happier as well. So for me, trying to help them grow at their own level. So for example, if I was to make the comparison, we have Canada at the top, North America, and we have somewhere as even, which is larger, which is Argentina in terms of demographics. However, at different levels of where they are in the growth of the game, whether it's administration or whether it's just the on-field tournaments and the high performance side. In trying to accommodate all my 16 members, Vernon, the best explanation I can give you is like having 16 children, but everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. And you work with every member based on their own uniqueness. And there is no competition in the region as I'm better than you or this. We work as Cal will know that when I have my regional conferences with the Americas family.
Good day and welcome to another edition of On Drive presented by Caribbean Sports Entertainment Management Group, with our special guest today being the ICC's American Regional Development Manager, Fara Gorsi. And it's good to have Fara on Drive. On Drive brings to you consistency, information, stability, respect, and most of all, a true passion to highlight the untold stories of women and men all over the universe. On Drive, once again, would like to welcome our special guests. Today, we're speaking to Fara Gorsi. Good day, my dear, and welcome to On Drive.
Hi, Vernon. Thank you for inviting me to On Drive. It's my pleasure.
Now, Farah, how you got involved in cricket? Because most people might be hearing Fara Gorsi and saying, this is a lovely lady. Why is she involved in cricket, and how she got involved in cricket? So there has to be a little background behind this. Talk to me.
Absolutely, Vernon. So very much being a youngster, I've watched cricket most of my life with my father. My father, I say, is one of my heroes, my role models. And watching and playing cricket in the street with my brother and sisters, I'm one of 9. We had our own team. So cricket has, from a young age, has been a passion of mine. Part of that comes helping people. I love to help people. I'm a people's person. And for me, cricket is all about love and community as well. And it's about bringing joy to everyone who wants to be involved in sport. So that's my philosophical side to the sport. I genuinely have a passion for it. Anything I have a passion for, I have energy for, and it doesn't seem like work. My background in cricket, and this is professionally, is I was UK's first ECB registered female agent, where I represented Mohammed Ahmed, Wahab Riaz, and a few other not as well known cricketers, Shah Masood, as well. So I started my career in cricket with being an agent and understanding it was a world of, I was a small fish in a big pond. I also worked with Lancashire Cricket and sat on their board. And I worked on sponsorship and fundraising. And I think my passion there was, again, very much that the agent side was wonderful. I do consultancy around commercial, sponsorship, athlete management, marketing, PR, everything else that's involved with an agent. But I didn't get as much satisfaction as I would when I would be working with children and working on the board and helping them raise funds for the better of the game and the development of the game. And so a few years into my career as a cricket agent, I felt that there was more that Fara Gorsi could offer the cricket world, and hence where I came into this position, and where I believe that I could add value to what ICC is currently doing, and especially in a region which is, again, was all new to me. I moved over from England to the USA with my daughter approximately 4.5 years ago, in the position and for the position. And here I am now managing the growth and development of 16 associate members of ICC. And for me, I don't see it as work. I see it as helping and bringing the sport and the love of people who want to be involved in a sport. And in this instance, it's cricket, and join them and make that as a long-term, whether it's philosophical or whether it's for ICC Americas, is to bring them together.
Now, while we were talking about being a cricket agent, what were some of the challenges that you faced while being a cricket agent? And as you said, you were like a small fish, swimming in the big pool, but you held your own, so you did good. So let me say congratulations to you for holding your own.
Thank you. In all honesty, my strength comes from my parents, and my father was a big supporter of mine. I think that's where I held my own, was through sheer love from my father and what he's taught me in terms of a hard worker, number one. The challenges were, and no different to some of the challenges as, and again, I don't want to change on the female and how we're portrayed and seen, but an indirect answer to your question was that at that time, which is going back a few years now, that cricketers or people or men in this industry would say, woman, cricket agent, really? And it was first the perception barrier, was that what does this woman know about cricket? What can she do within cricket as an agent, where there's just so many other professional agents who have been in this job for so many years? And ultimately, that was my strength. That was my driving force, was that there's enough work around the table for every one of us, whether it be a female or whether it be a male agent. And I think that drove me and probably inspired me further to work harder, to try, if I can, change that perception a little. And I think I have, because only now recently, as I look back, there's been women cricket agents now, somewhat Asian, some of them are Asian, we've opened the floodgates. It's opened the floodgates for women to be accepted. And now a different era of when women are getting involved in cricket and are respected. So the challenges stem back through being a female initially. What the second challenge I would say, which would occur, would then also, if you as an agent were seen with a player, and in my case, talking to county cricket clubs, you would always be seen as she's coming for money, and it'd be more of a threat than it is a positive. Let's work together, let's get the best out of this athlete, and I'm here to manage him, his welfare, him as a professional sportsman. I think that was also very off-putting, that you'd be seen as just it's the very line that people would say to me, oh, it's Jerry Maguire and it's that show me the money. But it wasn't. I think the perception of wanting to make money and agents, there was a stigma around agents as well. So not only female, then it was the stigma around agents. And they probably, Vernon, would be my two biggest challenges, because when I was given that opportunity, I would prove my worth to my athlete and to the company that I was working with. And so we'd have a fantastic relationship. But to get through the door with those two barriers was always a challenge, always.
Now, ICC's Americas. Tell us about the countries who are involved in the ICC's Americas, just for the folks who are listening on Drive and are viewing this special podcast.
Absolutely. So we have 16 members. So let me start at the top. We have USA, Canada. Okay, I'm going to count this because it's a good little challenge for me, actually. USA, Canada, Bermuda, Cayman, Bahamas, Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, Belize, Falkland Islands, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Peru, Turks and Caicos. I think I've missed one. Let me look on my board. That was really good, actually, I think I've got every single one there. Yep. Suriname. I apologize, Suriname. Hope they're not going to listen. And then Cricket West Indies are our full member. So they ICC member, but we regard the Cricket West Indies as our big brother. in the region.
All right. So 16 countries.
Yeah.
That's almost like a huge task. So I guess sleepless nights for you, but how that works? Cricket being played in 16 countries in the ICC's Americas. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? Does it involve youth cricket development, women's cricket, and the senior level? Or some countries are still maybe lagging in some areas?
Absolutely. It's I love it. I love that fact I have 16. If I had more, I'd be a lot happier as well. So for me, trying to help them grow at their own level. So for example, if I was to make the comparison, we have Canada at the top, North America, and we have somewhere as even, which is larger, which is Argentina in terms of demographics. However, different levels of where they are in the growth of the game, whether it's administration or whether it's just the on-field tournaments and the high performance side. In trying to accommodate all my 16 members, Vernon, the best explanation I can give you is like having 16 children, but everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. And you work with every member based on their own uniqueness. And there is no competition in the region as I'm better than you or this. We work as Cal will know that when I have my regional conferences, we're the Americas family. You know, we've all grown at different ages within this. Other countries have years of cricket being played. Other countries are coming new into this, and we look after the younger ones. And that's through resources. All of them have their very own strengths and weaknesses. In terms of what's been played, in all 16 countries is from high performance right through to grassroots performance. So that's women's, juniors, men's seniors team as well. But all at very different levels. So some are in their infancy of having a high performing team or a national team, and some are just high performance focused and have a few junior teams. So very different, varies from one end of the spectrum to the other, but ultimately the goal is the same through game development, international competitiveness, and high performance in there. Very varied, I'd say.
I understand a lot of cricket has been played in Brazil.
Yes, Brazil is very well known for its women's team, and they've actually offered contracts back in 2020, full paid contracts to women's team, because what happened there, Vernon, was the men that were playing cricket and the junior boys some were expats. Some did want to play, but football's big there. Rugby's doing really well in Brazil. And so where the women found that, hey, we don't have a national team in cricket, they clung to the opportunity. And they have grown, their model has been very much high performance on women. And now it's coming down to the grassroots. So they've done some fantastic programs in terms of street programs where there's poverty. How do we get children off the street? What program, a t-shirt, let's give them a t-shirt, let's bring them to play cricket. So they've used their environment. They've used their environment to transport cricket into a high performing country in the women's section. And now it's looking at the men's, now looking at the juniors playing, but for them priority is the women's high performance team.
Let's talk about the coaching education program in the ICC's Americas.
Yeah. So in terms of, sorry, Vern, I should wait for your question before
I was talking about the coaching education program and how is that funded, especially when you have to develop that area now in 16 territories.
So it's, at the moment, we are actually, I'd say excellent question, because we are launching for the very first time ICC's Coaching Foundation certification on a new platform called EdApp that will be, Vernon, available to every single associate member globally. So they can go online, do their foundation certification, and away they walk with foundation certification in coaching. So we are currently, it's been the first of many coaching programs that we will be launching, but that is being launched in the next week or two. In terms of what we did prior to that was each country we would have whether it's ECBs, Cricket Australia's, each country adopted their own coaching program from other full members. We would assist where we can with giving them equipment, with putting in some coaches in touch with them, but we as ICC have taken the first step in terms of doing something which is centralized and global for everyone. We'll be doing very similar for umpiring education as well. So it'll be a platform where every single member will have a unique login and will be able to log in and let their coaches train on level 1, level 2, foundation, etc. So that is the thought behind this project in terms of having that over the next few years and growing as we grow our coaches, as we grow our umpires.
All right, so good news for the coaches and the umpires. What about the scores now and the video analysts?
Again, it's something that we will be looking at, something that will come as soon as we've done coaching, umpiring, scorers, curators. We've done very mildly a course around curating where people are joining online. So there'll be more courses. As soon as we have this platform called Ed App, which is going to be made available, Vernon, for us, not only just training and education elements, there'll be also services, toolkits to help maybe members capacity build as well. It will be something that we'll be carrying on for the future.
All right, now you have 16 countries. Tell me in terms of the funding, does each member have to pay, I would say, annual subscription, or how is the funds distributed among the 16? You know, you have tournaments coming up, you know, what happens?
Yeah, so, oh, well, if we were to charge an annual subscription, Vernon, I don't think we'd have any members, but in this case, in this case,
I have to laugh and permit me. I'm almost in the same room like you here in the Leeward Islands. So let's go. We sounding good.
we give the funds as ICC, as a member leading organization. We invest in our members and we invest on a scorecard. And typically a scorecard is based on key performance indicators on how well women's, juniors, men's cricket is, and then how many coaching, how many umpiring staff you have. Each year they complete a census of what they have done over the years, or sorry, over the 12 months. Based on that census, they are allocated a scale of which that determines their funding. So it's all very done methodically, should I say. The members, so the funds that are in the Americas region particularly is that the lowest grade, I would say, or the lowest scale is 18,000. So any member at the lowest of the scorecard will receive 18,000. And for us, going up to $1 million in terms of funding. So your top end is $1 million in the Americas and the bottom is 18,000. And within that, the 16 members are staggered based on their performance throughout the 12 months. In a very high level explanation for the way it gets complicated.
I know, because I had the chance of seeing the scoreboard being introduced, and it's a whole lot of work. So I have a little bit background to understand in terms of what is happening. Now, Fara, you're in this position going on 5 years. The pandemic for the last, say 2 years has really sort of hampered cricket in the Americas. How have you been coping?
Interestingly, in terms of Vernon, professionally through my role with the members.
With the members?
Yes. So it's been challenging, in all honesty, because for me is always having that face-to-face, meeting my members at AGMs, meeting my members at regional conferences, but also on individual member visits where we go and see members, talk to them, understand their challenges, show us your success stories, show us where you have challenges. I think that's been tough because we haven't been able to, and I say we, the team, we haven't been able to have that face-to-face time. What I've been impressed by though, and again, what I love about the members do work hard, even through COVID, and there's been online courses, there's been online seminars, and there's been online training. So the members and ourselves have best worked together in terms of trying to deliver, if it's more the administration side of cricket opposed to the playing side. But I think it's been tough for us as ICC Global Development Team, because we are so used to seeing our members, so having that face-to-face contact, discussing opportunities, planning for the year ahead. I think that's been a slight challenge in terms of progression. But I think our relationship, because what we started doing was member check-in clinics. So each month through COVID, members would jump on, and what I was explaining to my global team was that this isn't about policing the work they're doing. This is about creating that platform for them to talk, tell us what's going on in their country, and they don't feel isolated from ICC and ICC Americas in this case. And it's still to have that good communication and that solid relationship that I believe I have with all 16 members. So challenges, but I've seen, if I can say, some blessings from the time of just having that FaceTime and online calls as well.
If you're wondering what's happening on OnDrive, we're speaking to our special guest today, Ms.Fara Gorsi, and this special interview on OnDrive is powered by Dem Sports Limited out of England, and also Altitude, and all of our other major sponsors who have made this podcast really possible. Our entire backroom staff have done an excellent job to make sure that we get the message and get the passion out. And we're very, very, very pleased to be teaming up with ICC America to be able to begin the first phase of communicating and educating folks around the world about what's happening in ICC Americas in terms of cricket.
When your body is challenged, it burns fuel and energy. Respond to every challenge with Altitude Sports Drink. It replenishes, restores, and prepares you for the next level. Altitude is uniquely formulated with an electrolyte blend and magnesium available in fruit punch, blue frost, and grape. Altitude. Raise your game.
Dem Sports is an innovative sports equipment manufacturer specialising in the production of high-quality sports nets and cages for clubs, universities and schools. The development of a Dem Sports concertina cage, either as a single or double-width sports net, has helped schools in inner-city areas where space is a premium to include sports such as cricket and tennis in the curriculum in a safe and enjoyable way.
The nets were developed really for when we had schools with a problem with space, so it could be used in limited areas. It folds back to the wall to a minimum of 515 millimetres and pulls out to 8 metres just over.
This sort of equipment is exactly the solution that many head teachers will look to use. It is space saving, it is easy to operate, it is relatively low cost, and again the impact of having provision within the school grounds is a real plus point.
Dem Sports are the world leaders in sports nets for schools. They have a range of net sizes to suit all spaces and can custom build whatever you require. For more information on how we can help you transform your play space at school safely, quickly and affordably, contact Dem Sports for details.
What's on the horizon for you? I know that if everything goes all right, you expect it to be in our neck of the woods, which will be Antigua and Barbuda, for a competition which really should be exciting. And what is going to be the format for that tournament, and who will be the teams that will be qualifying, and why are we now playing that tournament at this stage, or the qualifiers, as we would say?
So we are, Vernon, we are going to be hosting a Americas regional qualifier for the men's T20. It will be in Antigua and Barbuda. We have currently 8 teams that would qualify to participate in that tournament, which is Argentina, Bahamas, Cayman, USA, Canada, Belize, Panama, and Bermuda. We are still understanding the challenges around COVID, around embassies being closed for other countries to transit through US territories to be able to get to Antigua. And that is, again, the reason why we've pushed this tournament so far in the year, is that we can accommodate and still have everyone participate as well. In this case, we are working closely with our full member Cricket West Indies to be able to deliver a safe, secure environment and a fabulous tournament.
Well, you don't have to worry about the fabulous tournament. What I can say to you is the cricketers coming to Antigua and Barbuda, there are 365 beaches, in fact, 366. So I know for sure that the biosecure bubble area is going to be on one of the beaches. So you're coming to the right place. And in a bio bubble environment, you need a beach. So we just had the, we just had the Hero Caribbean Premier League completed in St. Kitts and Nevis, and the team stayed at the Marriott Hotel. They had a beach so they could be able to go and relax themselves. When you come to Antigua and Barbuda, you don't have to worry about anything. For sure, they'll be on the beach. And so Pineapple Beach Hotel, look out. The ICC America's cricketers are coming, and they're coming in their numbers. Fara, give me the format for this tournament and why 8? I know you have 16, but you only 8 is coming to Antigua at this time.
Yep, so Vernon, it's based on previously of how many teams participate towards the World Cup. And if you have, I guess it's this membership criteria that if you have a national team plus your 8 teams at home, you meet the criteria. And then with that, you also then qualify through for the T20 regional qualifier. So the strongest teams go through. In this case, it's the 8. From the 8, 2 will go forward for the global qualifier, and they will then qualify at a global level. But in this case, it's going back to what the members, what strong teams we have with the members and what their team settings at home is for them to be able to participate. We would be able to have 16 if all of them met the criteria for the tournament. In this case, the ones that have are all through.
So the matches in Antigua and Barbuda will be played at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, home of Cricket West Indies, and the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. Yes. If you have 8 teams, will you have matches only in the day, or how tight would the schedule be?
It's not at the moment. It's quite a relaxed schedule. We have 2 days, and without looking at the schedule, good question, but without looking at the schedule, would have games at 9:30, starting at 9:30 a.m. and then would have them at 1:30 p.m. So there's games throughout the day. Some are at Sir Viv and some are at Coolidge Cricket Ground. So it'd be a mix.
So you'll have 2 games at each venue daily?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about the preparation period now for these games, because most countries now will be coming to Antigua and Barbuda in a biosecure bubble area, but their preparation period, how are those preparations going? Because they would have had to be wait and see and, you know, protocols and making sure flights and you name it. When will the final squads be announced, or you're relaxing to just make sure that you get everybody to get to Antigua and Barbuda?
Yeah, we have at the moment, Vernon, we have a few more hurdles around members' visas and team visas. Then we have date changes and dates and days available at Coolidge as well in terms of the venue itself, because Cricket West Indies have their own tournaments and they've been very kind to accommodate us in the time frame that we've requested. And then we're currently also having challenges around domestic tournaments and the dates. And finally, another one is vaccinations. I guess it is requested that all people that land onto the island are vaccinated, but also be recognized by the World Health Organization. And as you can imagine, in South America, that isn't the case. Not everyone has access to Pfizer or Moderna. It's either Sputnik or something, you know, the Chinese vaccination. So we have a few hurdles to overcome. And I guess once those are working with our members, working with our 8 members in terms of what's possible, where we can try and get the flight paths in so they don't have to go through the US territories, so they won't need a visa. There's a lot of work going on in the background, and I can honestly say sometimes it's round the clock to ensure that everyone's going to be safe once they arrive. Not only that everyone's had the right vaccinations, and if not, what letters do we need to provide to the Antigua Barbuda government as well? So a couple of hurdles in terms of logistic wise, but then to look at PCR testing, antigen testing, because what we would as ICC and an ICC America's event is to ensure safety for all participating teams. And that's the biosecure bubble, and making sure that people are safe coming into the country, onto the island as well. So a couple of challenges still to overcome, but we are confident that this event will be going ahead and that we will have, as you say, with one of the 365 beaches, if we have that in the backdrop and the guys were playing cricket, then we're on a winner already.
Don't worry. You know it's going to be possible. So the dates for Antigua and Barbuda for the ICC's American Championship?
At this moment in time, we do have from the 1st to the 12th. They have not been confirmed due to some changes in the grounds on when the venue is available. So they are very temporary at the moment until we are given confirmation on terms of what's available at what day, so we can fit our schedule around venue and ground staff as well.
You did say from the 1st?
At the moment in time, we have the 1st penciled in, 1st of November.
Okay, because November 1st is Antigua and Barbuda's Independence Day, so that's when you might have to push that back maybe a couple of days.
Yeah, it would only be, Vernon, the staff coming in first and then the teams at 2 days later.
Okay, good stuff. Now, let's talk. What do you want as your legacy in the short-term basis for the ICC's Americas, which is for the next 5 years? And by the time you leave, what would you want to see be in place? I know you've outlined what you're working on, and providing that we don't have any more pandemic, COVID will be around for a little while, so we have to live with COVID. Yeah. But what sort of legacy that you'd want to see for the ICC's Americas going forward?
Excellent question, Vernon, excellent question. My legacy piece would be to grow, and one of the areas that in the Americas is probably out of all 5 regions that we are weaker at is women's and girls. So my legacy piece would be to ensure that every single member of mine has at least 8 women's teams in their growth and development of their programs as well. Ultimately, to have at least 3 members become full members, whether it's 5 years or 10 years, that they move on to the next level. But ultimately, my main goal would be to grow the game for the women and girls in the Americas.
Powerhouse, we have Canada, as you rightly said, and then we see now resurgence, or more or less an investment, where the United States of America is now saying, hey, we're now going to take this to a different level. We have a number of West Indian cricketers who are playing in various leagues in the United States of America. We also had, as we would say, an influx when we had the T20 tournament in Canada, but the COVID has sort of kind of put a little dent on that. So it shows now with the USA a little bit closer to the Caribbean. You have a lot of players from Guyana and from Jamaica who are moving into the various competitions in the United States of America. Is this an exciting time for the ICC's America, with the emergence now of so many West Indian cricketers and other cricketers from around the world now embarking to come to play for the United States? Is this something that you had foresee and you're looking forward to?
Absolutely. I think it's an exciting time for cricket in generally, that events are getting put on, although we're trying to still navigate the best we can through COVID. But ultimately, yes, West Indian players, Indian players, South Asian, Indigenous American playing, American people playing cricket is absolutely exciting. And also to, as we say, it's being in the US as the American dream. If we can put that in, coincide that with cricket, then we have the cricket dream within the US, and not only the US, but the Americas. And then what I always look at, Vernon, is when a member starts doing well and it attracts a huge vast of people to play cricket and either become cricketers or sports administrators. For me, it just opens up more opportunities to help my other members, to be able to leverage opportunities for other members and maximize what we have in the US to support all members in the Americas and not just US. I think an absolutely fantastic time, exciting time to see how USA cricket grows as well, but ultimately how it will benefit the whole region as well.
If you're wondering what's happening on Drive, if you're viewing or listening, you're listening to Ms.Fara Gorsi, the ICC America's Regional Development Manager. And this segment of On Drive is powered by Dem Sports Limited, Altitude, Andrew Wholesale, and other major stakeholders who are making this conversation with Farah very, very, very important. We're talking cricket, but not just cricket in the region. We're talking ICC's America's cricket.
When your body is challenged, it burns fuel and energy. Respond to every challenge with Altitude Sports Drink. It replenishes, restores, and prepares you for the next level. Altitude is uniquely formulated with an electrolyte blend and magnesium available in fruit punch, blue frost, and grape. Altitude. Raise your game.
Dem Sports is an innovative sports equipment manufacturer specialising in the production of high-quality sports nets and cages for clubs, universities and schools. The development of a Dem Sports concertina cage, either as a single or double-width sports net, has helped schools in inner-city areas where space is a premium to include sports such as cricket and tennis in the curriculum in a safe and enjoyable way.
The nets were developed really for when we had schools with a problem space, so it could be used in limited areas. It folds back to the wall to a minimum of 515 millimetres and pulls out to 8 metres just over.
This sort of equipment is exactly the solution that many head teachers will look to use. It is space saving, it is easy to operate, it is relatively low cost, and again the impact of having provision within the school grounds is a real plus point.
Dem Sports are the world leaders in sports nets for schools. They have a range of net sizes to suit all spaces and can custom build whatever you require. For more information on how we can help you transform your play space at school safely, quickly and affordably, contact Dem Sports for details.
Farah, your final comments, and I'm really excited that On Drive, is part of, this first initiative. We got to get you out there and make sure that, we power you up. And we also want to make sure that this platform, On Drive, is provided to be able to market the tournament in Antigua and Barbuda. So, with the onus on you and us combining together, we want to talk to all the members. And by the time they get to Antigua, at least people will be aware that, hey, I wasn't aware that they play cricket in Bahamas. I wasn't aware that they play cricket in Belize and in Brazil, but at least they'll be able to get an insight to understand that cricket is a global game. And so like football, cricket is growing, especially in the ICC's Americas. Your final comments, my dear. In fact, just before I get you to think about your final comments, you've been around cricket so long that there must be at least two major achievements, two outstanding things that you would have seen or at least followed during your little cricketing career period of time. You want to maybe just remember, see if I can pick your brains, your two top moments in cricket so far?
Good question, Vernon. Do you mean in terms of cricket performances or my own performance?
Yes, cricket performances, not your own personal performances, but you would have seen something special.
I'm no cricketer. Well, I can spin bowl very well when I was about 11, but hey, we'll leave that discussion for another day. My absolute favorite moments in cricket that are etched in my brain and my heart, and number one was in 1992. Pakistan won the Cricket World Cup, and my dad's from Pakistan. And Imran Khan lifting that trophy, we were jumping off the sofas, we were swinging off the lights. I don't know what we were doing, but we had a wonderful, wonderful day. And Javed Mian Dad's sweet drive, Inzamam ul Haq, just some of those memories. That in particular is been very close to my heart, and to this day, actually, if I met Inzamam ul Haq, who now has a beard, very religious guy, and I was just so nervous to even talk to him because of the imprint he left through that World Cup. And even Javed Mian Dad, they're like my heroes as such. And the second time that ever happened, and I had goosebumps and I thought I was going to pass out, and was when England, so I was over at the ground when England played New Zealand, and Stokes hit, and I think it was a 4, and then it was running back and forth with, let me think, it was Morgan. No, there was a few players out. Anyway, that was I was actually there at Lord's, and I just remember we had 2 Brits there, 2 Aussies, and the Aussies were sporting New Zealand. My colleagues, and myself and my boss, Andy, were both actually, you never hold your boss's hand in any situation. Like, let me put that first. We were literally holding hands like, oh my God, this is going to be close for England. So that has got to be one of the 2 best moments of my life in cricket, watching and then actually being a sports administrator, contributing to the game, and being at Lord's was just, yeah, I couldn't have asked for a more magical moment in my life.
You also follow English football, right? So who's your team?
Okay, I'm a Manchester girl, Manchester United all the way.
Hey, there we go. Manchester United. There we go. Yes, I'm a Manchester United fan too. So
Perfect.
Carl and myself. Yeah, there we go. We can't support anything else there.
Never forget your roots. That's what I say to myself. Never forget your roots.
I got you. Your message to women in sport, woman power, woman sport, to make them understand that, hey, there are some people who are saying that this is a woman's world. There are some people who still have a myth and are still being challenged, as we can see what's happening in Afghanistan, where, you know, a lot of the Afghanistan girls will maybe get an opportunity to maybe play cricket. We hope that would change. Yes. But you are one of the true pioneers, the sports leaders and the women in sports, and you're leading by example. What is your message to young girls, and not only young girls, but young boys and girls who are looking at this special interview on Drive?
Absolutely, Vernon. My message will be, and I guess it comes from the heart, is that we are so fortunate in the countries and where we are today. We see, as you say, rightly so, the example in Afghanistan and other countries. It sometimes questions are what we take for granted. So what I would say to our next generation is, you're our future, especially with the women and girls. You know what? Everything that, if you work hard, you're persistent, you're true to who you are, that no matter what industry, and it shouldn't be, and I say this as well, it doesn't have to be with women, we should be given an opportunity. No, like everyone else, we need to prove, why are we sat at that table? Why are we at that ground? But it is possible through sheer hard work, passion, energy. You drive, really do. You drive forward and overcome obstacles. Every obstacle can only give you strength. Every obstacle, if you have passion in what you believe in and the energy, every obstacle can only generate strength and not negativity in terms of walking away. For me, that is so important. And I not only as a daughter, and as I say, my father is my hero, and I've watched my father work so hard that it's his work ethics, and I've been driven, and my mentor is my father as well. What I try to be is a good role model for my daughter, in terms of being a strong, independent woman, but also not seeing that because you're a female, you should be given an opportunity to prove yourself. And if you've got that power, that will, that knowledge, that education to do it, I don't think it'll stop any boy, any girl, any woman, any male in that case. So please, if you love sport or you want to find a sport where you can just connect with your children, your family, cricket is a family sport. And that's where my passion is driven from, has been at times playing cricket with my brothers, my dad, who's now an umpires, and it's been the family connection through watching the great performances. And I've used cricket as a vehicle to then drive me professionally into what I'm doing. It doesn't necessarily have to be through a professional vehicle. You can always have cricket as fun, or any sport in that case. But if you have a will and energy and passion about it, please don't suppress it. Go ahead and enjoy what sport has to bring to your life. And if it brings joy and fun, you've won the battle halfway. So yeah.
Fara Gorsi, the Caribbean Sports Entertainment Management Group, with Carl Blankendel and myself, Vernon A. Spring, on Drive, really took some time out to salute you for being part of our special program called On Drive. As you know, On Drive brings to you consistency, information, stability, respect, and most of all, a true passion to highlight the untold stories of women and men all over the universe. Today has been an education for us. ICC America's cricket is booming, it's alive, it's here, and we're pleased on Drive, which is being powered by Dem Sports Limited, Altitude, and through our various radio links, which will be Win FM in St. Kitts and Nevis, and Point FM with Sports Overflow, to be able to make sure, and all of the other stations that will be carrying this special podcast called On Drive, we want to really salute them and all of our major sponsors and contributors. It really was indeed an insightful conversation. And trust me, you have a platform where we will be promoting ICC's America's cricket and beyond. So we're not just staying here, we're working with you, and we're glad that you were able to take some time out of your busy schedule to join us on Drive. May God bless you, and we hope to see you many more. And the next time we link up, we'll be talking about the role of an agent, because we need to begin to start to educate our boys and girls as to the do's and don'ts and what an agent expects. So when an agent go out there, they can be able to sell you.
Thank you so much, Vernon, and thank you for On Drive and the sponsors that are making this happen, because it's just as you've offered this opportunity to just myself, and I'm hoping there's many more that will come, many more people and sports administrators or athletes that will come through the door, that this platform is a wonderful platform to highlight the good work that not just us at the top do, but the ones of volunteers and the hard workers behind the scene as well. In our cases with ICC America, there's many volunteers who do it for the sheer love of the game. And I would love to catch up with On Drive and yourselves with our members in Antigua once we arrive for the tournament, and perhaps have some of the team players and have general managers and the people who are surely just giving their time, and parents who are involved, just to give their time and talk about their experience in the game on Drive as well. So hopefully a fruitful relationship from ICC Americas.
See you in Antigua.
See you in Antigua. That's a promise.
Make sure you visit at least one of the beaches. We have 366. The only unfortunate thing is that you'll be restricted to one, but when you come back again for another holiday, you'll be able to visit all 366. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vernon. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
God bless you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
When your body is challenged, it burns fuel and energy. Respond to every challenge with Altitude Sports Drink. It replenishes, restores, and prepares you for the next level. Altitude is uniquely formulated with an electrolyte blend and magnesia available in fruit punch, blue frost, and grape. Altitude. Raise your game.
Dem Sports is an innovative sports equipment manufacturer specialising in the production of high-quality sports nets and cages for clubs, universities and schools. The development of the DEM Sports concertina cage, either as a single or double width sports net, has helped schools in inner city areas where space is a premium to include sports such as cricket and tennis in their curriculum in a safe and enjoyable way.
The nets were developed really for when we had schools with a problem space, so it could be used in limited areas. It folds back to the wall to a minimum of 515 millimetres and pulls out to 8 metres just over.
This sort of equipment is exactly the solution that many head teachers will look to use. It is space saving, it is easy to operate, it is relatively low cost, and again the impact of having provision within the school grounds is a real plus point.
DEM Sports are the world leaders in sports nets for schools. They have a range of net sizes to suit all spaces and can custom build whatever you require. For more information on how we can help you transform your play space at school safely, quickly and affordably, contact DEM Sports for details.